Welcome. This is David Boles, Human Meme. Today's topic, performing arts as a profession. A student in California recently got in touch with me via this Human Meme podcast. She was distraught because she can sing and dance and act. And she's won many awards in high school and in the local community and on TV, and she's had some bit parts in the movies. And now she has a scholarship to a college that will pretty much give her a tuition-free, full-ride undergraduate degree in the performing arts. Sounds great, right? The bad part is this. Her parents are unwilling, and they refuse to allow her to major in the performing arts. Free tuition does not matter to her parents because they can afford to pay everything without any sort of intervention from the school. Her parents want her to have a real life and a real job, like a lawyer or an accountant or a business owner, and they do not want her to waste her time and money and hopes in a career that will probably not go anywhere. You can do community theater as a hobby, her parents told her. The student asked me what to do, and the answers aren't easy, and they're very simple. Her parents have the right intention of wanting the best for their daughter. But by punishing her for her wants and her talents is something that will not be forgiven or forgotten, no matter how much money travels over the transom. We all find our paths in life. Some of us know what we were born to be, and the rest of us are searching for meaning in avenues beyond the blessings of our birth. So who's right here? Who has the right to decide a life? The parent or the child? Parents with money have an advantage because they use that money as a cudgel and a carrot to get to squeeze the behavior they demand. And it is usually not always in the best interest of the child. I live in New York. I work in the entertainment and publishing business, so I know a lot of rich people, I know a lot of rich kids, I have rich friends. But I am not rich, and nobody in my family history has ever had really big money. And so these rich friends and acquaintances of mine are really only rich, I've learned, because their parents handed it to them, entrusted it to them, or gifted the money to them. But there's always a way for these rich parents to claw back their money if they are displeased with the behavior of their child. And this is at any age. And that clawback is not theoretical. It is existential. It is an eternal threat against the child. Most of these kids I know never overcome that imbalance in power because they're always waiting for the next shoe to drop in a deposit unmade into their checking accounts. One way parents claw back their money is by buying things for the child, like cars and property, a house purchased in the parent's name using a revocable trust, so the house may or may not technically legally belong to the kids. It all depends how generous the parents are feeling moment to moment, and if the kids are falling in line or not. And if you, the rich kid, don't behave, then the house you think belongs to you, and the car and everything else you possess, is clawed back, is yanked out from under you under the terms of this revocable trust, and you are left homeless to rot, until, of course, you get back in line and apologize. All the power in that dyad is on the money side. And these parents always make sure that they control the money and have more money than their child. And that's why the student in question who contacted me really only has one play, a single choice to follow her own emotional and intellectual path. In theory, that California student is luckier than most in that the school is covering her major expenses and she can actually afford to bet on herself and her own success, because clearly her parents are not betting on her, but the school is staking her. And sometimes all the education, all the training, all the experience and exposure doesn't ever pay off in money or fame or celebrity. And I say, so what? Life is a journey, not a harbor, with its own perils to the spirit. You remember that from a previous Human Meme podcast, right? And if you don't own your own life by the time you hit college, chances are low that you will ever be your own trustee. I understand it can be scary to go against your parents' wishes and demands and money, and sometimes it is easier to just go along to get along. But if there is something inside you that burns one way and not your parents' way, then you really don't need any advice from me or anyone else, because you're going to take the path that enlightens you. And I encourage everyone to seek their light, at whatever age. Life is not a one-shot deal and you're done. Today, you won't just have one job in your lifetime. You'll have 100 different jobs and 10,000 lifetimes. Living is a long-haul road. It's rough, it's hard. And you need to best prepare yourself for the inevitable changes that are coming at you. And you do that by being flexible and negotiable. I believe that training your mind in the way you best serve your talent is best. If you see and experience life through performance or singing, you can still apply that talent to a more standard job in the workplace later. Performance talent translates better to the business world than, say, data entry does to the Broadway stage. Don't begrudge your talents. If you can do something that few others are able to copy and many enjoy, celebrate those gifts every day. Use those gifts against the dark and welcome those gifts into your light. You have the ability to make others appreciate you through actions, words, and behavior. So use every talent you have to convince the world you are ready and sustainable and cognizant of the universe enveloping you. You can always change the way you see the world, but never how the world views you back. Because you are the master of your mind, and you cannot influence on a sustained basis how others in the world who come and go, and how they come at you with their experience and biases and prejudices. You can't worry about them. You can only control and form you. Finding the right human connection is vital. You want to hang out with similar people who view the world as you do and who want to create the same ends as you. That is done through values testing and morality bridging. And if you're lucky and good and wise, you're going to find a couple of people out there who get it like you get it. And it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks, not even your parents. The California student who contacted me was distraught and confused. Her parents are powerful in the community, and she is viewed as their property, their responsibility. And that's not uncommon in those pre-wedded circles of power and influence and money that spin worlds within other secret worlds, usually far away and always out of place. So, what to do? Does she embarrass her parents and teach herself the performing arts? Or does she decline to follow her own blazing pathway and risk losing the everything she has become and what made her? My bet is she will follow her parents' lead, because that is the path of least resistance. And because if she knew the answer to her question, she wouldn't have had any reason to contact me. I'm just a pretend sounding board where advice is sought and then thoroughly rejected. Believe me, I've been here before with other students. And I've learned that in the asking, in the avarice, and in the Francophile rebellion, it all feels good and somber to the student, for a pinch, as they stand up and fight back against their parents, behind their backs, anonymously, online with me, in the midst of this human meme podcast. And then tomorrow dawns, and the rent is due, and they're hungry, and they race back into the bloom of their parents' basement arms, where they stand ready to coddle the student, cloyingly back into the womb where they belong. Thank you for listening. Be a human meme.